The Danish palace gates have never seemed so symbolic, closed to the world, yet hiding one of the most unexpected royal power shifts in European history. In a move that has stunned insiders and captivated royal watchers, Queen Margrethe of Denmark, the longest reigning monarch in Europe until recently, has quietly entrusted Queen Mary with a mysterious new power. But what exactly has happened behind the velvet curtains of Denmark's most sacred royal halls? Why now, and why her? Stay with us, because what you're about to uncover is more than just a ceremonial change. It's a story of legacy, strategy, and a queen who refuses to step aside quietly. To the world, Queen Margrethe is the monarch who reigned for over 5 decades, a queen of culture, intellect, and iron determination. But to those closest to the throne, she is also the architect of Denmark's next royal era, an era that now has a surprising new face, Queen Mary. This development, though shrouded in protocol and symbolism, has shaken even seasoned Danish court watchers. Because Queen Margrethe, despite stepping down officially in January 2024, has not retreated from influence. Quite the opposite. In recent weeks, behind closed doors at Amalienborg Palace, the retired queen made a decision that could change how the Danish monarchy operates for generations. She has entrusted Queen Mary, Australia-born, modern, beloved, with powers no queen consort has held in recent history. Queen Mary, now the consort of King Frederik X, has always walked a fine line between tradition and innovation. She has modernized the royal wardrobe, championed global causes, and captivated the hearts of Danes with her elegance and intelligence. But few imagined she would be the recipient of a private, sacred delegation of power by Queen Margrethe herself. According to confidential sources close to the Danish court, Queen Margrethe held a series of closed-door meetings with her son and daughter-in-law in late March 2025. These discussions, unusually long and sealed off even from top aides, resulted in a written and verbal transfer of royal responsibilities that exceed the usual expectations of a queen consort. What kind of power was given? That's where the real intrigue begins. Not just ceremonial duties anymore. Traditionally, queen consorts across Europe are expected to support their husbands, attend royal engagements, and maintain the dignity of the crown. But Queen Mary has now been granted certain sovereign prerogatives. Yes, you heard that right. Sovereign-like powers, carefully curated by Queen Margrethe to strengthen the monarchy's public standing. This includes the ability to represent Denmark in state affairs in place of the king, a formal role in the State Council when King Frederik is absent, and, most shockingly, the discretionary power to sign limited royal decrees during emergency circumstances. This isn't just symbolism, it's strategy. Queen Margrethe, known for her chess-like mastery of royal image and succession, has moved her piece in a way that redefines Queen Mary's role, and possibly the future of queen consorts across Europe. Why Queen Margrethe did it now? For Queen Margrethe, timing is everything. After abdicating in January 2024, citing health and the need for renewal, she retreated from public life, but not from her role as the monarchy's quiet guardian. Those who know her say the Queen has always been 10 steps ahead, and this recent handover proves it. With Frederik taking on the pressures of the throne and the royal family entering a new media-driven age, Margrethe saw a rare strength in Mary, not just as a consort, but as a stabilizing force for the Danish crown. She is ready, Margrethe reportedly told a close court confidant. Not just to support, but to lead in her own right. It's a decision rooted not in emotion, but in foresight. Margrethe believes the modern monarchy needs more than one figurehead, it needs a royal partnership. And in Mary, she has found the ultimate co-ruler, even if unofficial. The existence of a classified royal document, believed to be a private charter issued by Queen Margrethe before Easter 2025, has become the subject of intense speculation among palace insiders. This document allegedly outlines the extent of Queen Mary's new powers and provides legal backing for her to temporarily act in royal capacities beyond consort obligations. While not made public, its rumored contents suggest that Mary can host and finalize diplomatic agreements in the king's absence, advise ministers on behalf of the crown, serve as an alternate signatory for royal proclamations under specific conditions. That's far beyond what even Queen Margrethe herself allowed during her own husband's tenure. Some Danish politicians and constitutional advisors have been quietly briefed. While not opposing the move, several are said to be surprised by the scale of trust placed in Mary. One high-level source in the Danish parliament said, "This is unprecedented. She's not just queen consort now. She's something closer to a vice monarch." It's important to understand that this wasn't done behind King Frederik's back. In fact, those close to the situation say Frederik supported the decision completely, and perhaps even encouraged it. In recent months, Frederik has faced growing pressures, the demands of a modern monarchy, increasing international responsibilities, and domestic issues from rising Republican sentiments. By formally empowering Mary, he ensures the monarchy maintains a strong, active presence at all times, even when he's abroad or engaged in state strategy. Their marriage, once a modern fairy tale, is now the foundation of a new era of dual leadership. Together, they represent a balanced royal front. Frederik, the legacy-born king with deep ties to Danish history. Mary, the self-made consort who embodies global diplomacy, charm, and reformist ideas. Across Denmark, the news has been met with a mix of admiration and curiosity. In Copenhagen, Danish citizens gathering near Amalienborg Palace shared their views. "Mary has always acted like more than a consort," said one royal watcher. "She's been leading behind the scenes for years. Now, she finally gets the credit." Others, however, expressed cautious optimism. "I trust Mary," said a university student outside the royal library. "But this makes me wonder, what exactly is going on in the royal house? Is Frederik struggling behind the scenes? Is Margrethe still pulling strings?" Royal commentators have gone into overdrive. Some see it as a masterstroke of monarchy evolution. Others question whether this opens the door to a co-regency model that could eventually blur constitutional lines. Either way, Queen Margrethe has achieved something rare in today's monarchies, a surprise power move that was both quiet and seismic. It didn't happen in front of the cameras. There was no grand announcement or public display. Instead, Queen Mary learned of her new role the way power often shifts in monarchies, quietly, reverently, and in the strictest of confidence. According to palace insiders, the moment came during a private afternoon tea at Fredensborg Palace. Only 3 people were present: Queen Margrethe, Queen Mary, and King Frederik. No advisors, no aides, just the monarch, her heir, and the woman who had already transformed the Danish monarchy with her poise, intelligence, and global influence. Queen Margrethe, dressed in her usual understated elegance, reportedly opened a velvet-lined folder and placed it gently on the table in front of Mary. Inside, a single document, bearing the royal seal, outlined her wishes. She said very little, a court source reveals. But what she said was powerful. She told Mary, "This is not a title. This is trust." Queen Mary, stunned, is said to have paused in disbelief. For all her years of service, charity, diplomacy, and protocol, she never expected this. It wasn't just a gesture, it was a royal responsibility. She accepted with grace, but the weight of it was clear. To truly grasp the impact of this decision, we have to look at Mary's extraordinary journey. Born Mary Elizabeth Donaldson in Hobart, Tasmania, she was a marketing executive living a quiet, normal life, until a chance meeting with Prince Frederik at a Sydney pub during the 2000 Olympics changed everything. From that moment on, she became the woman the Danish press couldn't stop watching. Not for scandal or controversy, but for her transformation. She learned the language, she studied Danish history, she endured scrutiny and pressure and emerged as one of Europe's most admired royals. Now, 2 decades later, Queen Mary stands as not just consort, but a partner in power. In many ways, this is the ultimate reward for her dedication: the trust of a queen, the faith of a nation, and the chance to reshape what it means to be royal in the 21st century. 3 days after the private handover, Queen Mary made a public appearance at a spring gala honoring Danish innovation. Observers noticed something unusual. She wore Queen Margrethe's diamond daffodil brooch, a piece rarely seen and deeply symbolic. This brooch was originally a gift to Margrethe from her mother, Queen Ingrid, and has only ever been worn by reigning queens. The message was clear: something had changed. Fashion experts and royal historians alike noted that Mary's decision to wear the piece was a coded signal, a silent acknowledgement of her new role. And in Denmark, where symbolism matters just as much as law, this did not go unnoticed. Suddenly, the rumors began to spread. Had Queen Mary taken on more than just ceremonial duties? Was the monarchy preparing for a quiet transformation? The answer came faster than expected. One person who has been watching all of this very closely is none other than Crown Princess Isabella, the 18-year-old daughter of Mary and Frederik, and now second in line to the Danish throne. Sources say that just days after Mary's empowerment, Queen Margrethe requested a private meeting with Isabella. In a scene that echoes a royal training montage from a modern-day fairy tale, Margrethe reportedly spent hours with Isabella discussing monarchy, diplomacy, and duty. The former queen even showed her handwritten letters from Queen Ingrid and Queen Alexandrine, offering insight into what it means to carry the crown. But here's the twist. Mary was not present at this meeting. Why? Some believe this was deliberate. A way for Margrethe to forge her own connection with the next generation, without Mary's influence. Others believe it was a sign that Queen Margrethe is already grooming Isabella for a future role that may come sooner than anyone expects. Is this power shift part of a longer game, one that positions Isabella as Denmark's first truly modern queen regnant since Margrethe herself? Across the Danish parliament, murmurs are growing. While Queen Mary's new role has not been legally enshrined, her ability to act on the king's behalf, sign emergency orders, and serve as royal envoy places her uncomfortably close to the role of a de facto co-regent. Technically, Denmark has no co-monarch system. But Mary's current duties and powers create a unique gray area, one that has constitutional scholars debating behind closed doors. Some ministers are calling for a review of the formal structure to ensure transparency. It's not about distrust, one senior MP stated. It's about clarity. If Queen Mary is acting with executive power, we need a framework for accountability. Others see this as a clever move to sidestep the political chaos that typically surrounds succession. With Mary by his side in a formalized role, King Frederik can appear more stable, more modern, and less isolated. Either way, a royal precedent is being set. But not everyone is celebrating this new era. Some members of the extended royal family, particularly those who have been pushed further from the inner circle in recent years, are reportedly uneasy. Princess Benedict, Margrethe's sister and a lifelong defender of royal tradition, is said to have expressed quiet disapproval over the speed and secrecy of the handover. She has not commented publicly, but royal watchers noticed her absence from a recent event celebrating Queen Mary's new Women's Leadership Foundation. Countess Alexandra, the former wife of Prince Joachim, is also said to be monitoring developments carefully. With her sons, Counts Nikolai and Felix, having recently lost their royal titles, she remains a voice for the more sidelined branch of the family. Could this new concentration of power around Queen Mary and King Frederik be seen as a monarchy tightening its circle? Or is it just a natural evolution toward a leaner, more focused royal house? Either way, tensions are simmering under the surface. Just 1 week after receiving Margrethe's trust, Queen Mary embarked on her first solo diplomatic trip to Germany. But this was no ordinary visit. Acting in the name of the crown, Mary hosted a private bilateral summit with representatives of the German Chancellor, signed a trade cooperation statement, and even delivered a speech that began with the words, "As Queen of Denmark, and on behalf of my husband, King Frederik." It marked a historical moment, the first time Queen Mary had openly addressed the world as a stand-in for sovereign leadership. The reaction, resounding praise. German officials described her as regal, confident, and deeply informed. Danish press headlines the next morning read, "Queen Mary steps into power, and owns it." Clearly, Queen Margrethe's gamble is already paying off. But let me ask you, our viewers, if Queen Mary is already acting with the authority of a monarch, is Denmark ready for a double queen era? Don't forget to subscribe.